Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's video all about the differences and the similarities in the UK around people in primary school and the different areas around this. So we hope you enjoy it. And the first part this week is for City to answer the questions about the primary school questions I will ask later. So if you don't subscribe already, then please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and like it so we can get in front of more and more people. Okay, and how are you today, City?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm very well, thank you. And what about you? How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. So shall I start asking you all these questions?
Yes, please. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the first question is, what time do primary school students start school? And what time do they finish their lessons?
Oh, primary students, right? What time do
Yeah,
what time do they start and what time do they finish? Generally, because in Indonesia we have grade 1 until grade 6, and then the time is somehow different between grade 1 to 3 to 4, 5, and 6. So 1, 2, and 3 usually they start their classes like a little bit later, maybe around 8 a.m. in the morning, around 8 a.m. in the morning. But then actually each school has like a different way how they manage their schedule. But like more or less, it is around 8 a.m. And then the question for what time do they finish? Oh, by the way, so for 1, 2, and 3 classes, so they usually start their class at 8 a.m. and they will finish at around either 12 or 1 p.m. 12 or 1. So around that time. But then for grade 4, 5, and 6, they start their school like a little bit earlier, maybe around 7:30, or maybe some of them even, wait, is it 7:30? I think some schools they start their classes even at 7, but mostly like 7:15 to 7:30 a.m. in the morning. And what time do they finish? They will finish at around 2 to 3 p.m. So for class 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, so it's just the estimation, but again, each school like they have like a different ways how they manage like their times. But there is a difference between the lower grades and the upper grades. Yeah.
wow, I guess it must depend on what kind of school they're going to, though. So I
Correct.
guess
Yes.
it all depends on the specific school. But I think maybe if it's in one culture, then they'll all do kind of a similar time
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
to other schools, but maybe
mm-hmm.
little differences.
Yes.
Wow, that was a good answer, City. And I guess as the students grow older, they can do longer hours,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah. That's also
So
what I see. All
yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
also an interesting one. So now let's have a look at the second question. And this one is, how many students are usually in a primary school class? Do you think there should be more or less, or are the numbers okay?
Mm-hmm. Talking about the number of the students, that is very interesting actually, because as far as I said, there is a difference between like the public schools and the private schools. The public schools, because it is like the schools, most people who go there are like the people in public is like I mean more people go to the public school because they are like less expensive than the private schools, right? So what happens is that because they have the big number of the students, so they have the big number of the students in the class, maybe around 30 even to 40 in one classroom. So it's a big class actually. Yeah. And maybe 30, 35, even sometimes when it is like too many students, then they will have it up to like 40. Even actually it's not only one class. For example, there will be one grade 1A with 35 students, and then there would be another grade 1B, which is for another 35 students. So around that number. Interestingly, for the private schools, they somehow limit the number of students around 25 students in one class. So if it is like more than 25, then they're going to split the class into two classes. Yeah, because somehow for the private schools, they charge like more, they charge the parents with more expensive, like, oh, it's like more expensive for the students to go to the private schools, and somehow the parents demand them to provide like a better education, right, and also better facility. So what happens is that one of the ways is by having the limitation in the number of the students. Yeah, I think that's what I can say. Somehow it's different, but the average is like the numbers that I have already mentioned.
Oh, that's good. What do you think is the best kind of number of people per class,
The
in your opinion?
according to my experience as a classroom teacher, then the best number is around 20 to 25, so that
Mhm.
I can pay my attention at least to, well, maybe I cannot pay my attention to like everyone equally, but at least I can try my best to pay attention to like each of them, and I know the progress in their learning. But then when it is too many, let's say like 30, 35, or maybe even 40, it is like it's so difficult to to get to know the students even better, like even each of them, so that maybe it would be difficult for me to provide or to support their learning. Yeah, so I think
Yeah,
around 20 to 25.
yeah, that's a good amount of students, I think,
Mm,
for a class to get to know them well, and also for them to have lots of variety of friends. So I guess that's an interesting number, the
mm.
optimal number.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's move on to the third question,
Mhm.
which is what languages do primary school students learn? When do you think primary school students should start learning a new language in Indonesia?
Talking about languages, by the way, before I start talking about the languages at school, actually in Indonesia we have our mother tongue, or yeah, mother tongue, like the language that we speak to our mom and also like to our family since we were born. So the language is that the local language. So that's the first one. And then after that, because in Indonesia, we have so many different ethnicities with different languages. That's why we have a national language, which is Bahasa Indonesia or Indonesian language. So what we have is that in the primary school, the school is going to teach the students the Bahasa Indonesia. So that's the language that they first learn from school. Even though somehow actually during the interaction, like in daily life, somehow like we also have some interaction in Indonesian language, but mostly in our local language. That's Bahasa Indonesia. And I think something interesting is that before, English was one of the subjects taught to the students since primary school. But what happened was there was a change in the curriculum, like around wait 2013. Oh my God, it was almost, oh, okay, 7 years. Okay, even it was like 7 to 8 years ago in 2013. We have what we call curriculum 2013. It says that it's so the language, English language, is omitted from the primary school education. So there is no more English. English is not one of the main subjects for the primary school. But then, if the school wants, they can give the English language for the students as a subject, but then as an elective subject, not as the main subject. It's not as the compulsory. So English, but usually they'll start like when the students are in the grade 4. 5 and 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. And other than that, also another elective subject that the school can teach the students is like the local language itself. Because, for example, me, I like for example like this, according to one region and the other region, it has a different local language. And for example, me, even though I was born in region A, but I am not originally from there, so I don't have any idea with the local language over there. So because the thing is that because the government they want to preserve the local language, so they teach this local language to the students at school as an elective subject. Yeah, it's the same thing. It starts from grade 4, 5, and 6. Oh my god, my internet connection is unstable.
It's okay. So
Yeah.
you were saying about the electives. I think the electives before or when they go to secondary school or something. So yeah, I think we got the main point anyway
Yes.
about the change from 2013. So that's great. And maybe what other languages do children learn whilst at primary school, or if not in primary school, then in secondary school? Do they learn French or German or Spanish
Not
or
at
anything
all.
like this?
Not at all. Not at all.
Really?
No.
Just like local languages and
Yes.
English?
And national and local language and Bahasa Indonesia as the national language, and English. Even English is as an elective subject, so it's not a compulsory. So only those. Yeah.
That's interesting, Hun. Well, I guess because English is such an international language, then you don't really need to focus on others.
Yeah.
So I guess learn English, then you date with most of the world. Okay, a great one. So let's see what question number 4 has. So number 4 says, what are the 3 most important subjects for primary school students? And for what reasons are these important, do you think?
Okay. So the 3 main subjects. 3. So first one is of course Bahasa Indonesia or Indonesian language, because in this subject, so it's going to teach the students to read, to spell, and also to write in Bahasa Indonesia, even also to speak Bahasa Indonesia as our national language. So Indonesian language, and then mathematics, because yeah, it is for to teach them how to how to count, and also talking about the money, and also to get to know the numbers like in their daily life. And the next one is civic education. So in the civic education, as far as I remember, like a long time ago when I was in the primary school, it is more about to teach the character, like to build the character of the students with the values that actually we have, especially in Indonesia. So like character education somehow, but then the name is civic education. And also to introduce them to Indonesia, like some principles that we have in Indonesia is like to strengthen our nationalism and also patriotism, like to get to know like our country. And physical education, we have that. Yeah, but the main 3 things is the one that I just mentioned. Other than that, there are physical education, and like for doing like some sports, and I guess that's all. But then when the students are already in the 4th grade, like grade 4, 5, or 6, so they will start learning about science and also social studies.
Oh, wow. So I guess that's different from our schools because
How is it?
We never learn about civic education. We never did this before. So I guess we don't have this one in the UK.
Oh,
I guess we
really?
just learn subjects like science,
Mm-hmm,
English, maths,
mm-hmm,
technology,
mm-hmm,
physical education,
mm-hmm,
music,
mm-hmm.
religion. So
Oh,
I don't think we
interesting.
did that at all. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
yeah, so um, do you feel that civic education has made you a better person, or has it not, do you think?
I think so because in that subject I also remember even like some situations that was actually that was taught to us. It's like how to be responsible, what are the examples to be responsible, how to be tolerate, like how to tolerate, I'm sorry. So how to tolerate people, especially like because in Indonesia we have like the people have like different religions, like from one group to the other group. So how to show like the tolerance among those people who are like different from us, and also so those kind of thing. So those all very those examples, and also those teachings from that subject, civic education, that was really really, yeah, that was really great. That was really helpful to build our character as a kid when we were kids. Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Mm.
But it's a shame that we never had this. So maybe it's something we can have in the future.
Oh, I've never heard any of that. I thought that all schools in the world they have civic education. Anyway.
Okay, and the last one is question
Mhm.
5. What extracurricular activities did you do in your primary school days, and why were they so enjoyable?
Uh, when I was in primary school, there were some activities as far as I remember, including like sports. But then at the time, okay, we had physical education, but we had also like extracurricular activity. That was sport, and then even in sports, so there were like some other options. Which one we would like to join in? Like for example, volleyball. Was it whether it was volleyball or maybe football or maybe like some other kinds of sports? And other than that, there was scout. Are you familiar with scouting? Scouting.
Oh yeah, we also have scouts here
Oh, okay.
in the
So,
UK.
oh, that's great. So we had scout as well in primary school. Uh, but then for the grade 1, 2, and 3, we didn't do much. But for grade 4, 5, and 6, so we did like a lot of activities for scout. So what I would say is that uh for public schools, generally they will have scout as their extracurricular activity or extracurricular subject. But then because I think it is the easiest one, according, yeah, as far as I see it. So it's like the easiest one, like to manage or to have. Because for example, in some schools, in some private schools, they have some more options of the extracurricular activities, such as music, dance, or maybe even like programming, like block programming or something. So but those all are usually given or provided by the private schools. But for public schools, scout is like they're always there. It must be there.
Oh wow, I like that
Mm.
one, the scouts. They have
Yeah.
it here, but I never participated in the scouts. Maybe because I was doing extracurricular activities of
Mm-hmm.
sports,
Mm-hmm.
so I never really tried scouts before. I guess it's
Oh,
I guess if you have the time, you can try it, but I guess if you don't have the time, if you're doing other
yeah.
activities, then it's difficult to get involved in if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I joined in. Did I join in? I think, yeah, I joined in when I was in primary school, but was not that active. I missed the
Mhm.
sessions like for most of the time, but my name was there. All
Oh, that's so
right.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. And there we have all the questions for part 1 answered today. and really interesting as well.
That was
So,
really quick.
yeah, I think it was about 20 minutes. So
Oh, okay.
you can join us again in a few days' time
Yes.
for part 2 of the video when I shall be answering the questions about primary school. So we hope to see you again in a few days. And if you could give the video a like and a subscribe, then it will help us reach more and more people. And then more and more people can learn about the differences and similarities of the UK and Indonesia. But we learned some interesting things today, like Indonesia only does civic education, whereas the UK don't. And a similarity we can look at is
Mhm.
that the UK and Indonesia both have scouts activities as extracurricular activities.
Mhm.
So that's really interesting. So if you have any comments or ideas about the video, then leave a comment and maybe we can discuss that issue next time. So thanks for joining us again today, and we'll see you in a few days' time for part 2.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye
And
bye.
thank you. Bye.